we're going to talk about some characters from the northern kingdom of Israel. Today, we'll talk about Elijah. Prophets. What is a prophet? A prophet is somebody who delivers God's message to people who usually don't want to hear it. King Ahab. What a nasty character. Elijah came to him and told him, there is not going to be any rain in this area until I say so. And then he ran away and hid in the desert for 3 years. Finally, he appeared before King Ahab, and Ahab called Elijah the troubler of Israel. I kind of love that. Elijah said, no, I'm not the trouble in Israel. It's you and your father's family who have abandoned God, and I'm going to prove it to you. And he gathered 450 Baal prophets, and they offered a sacrifice all day. They tried to get their God to produce fire to take up the sacrifice, and it didn't work. And you can read the story. Elijah managed to have his God, our God, send fire down from heaven and burn up the sacrifice. Elijah alone stood his ground with all these people present. And then he said to Ahab, and now prepare, it's going to rain. And it did. He made it back to town. And Ahab's wife, Jezebel, then threatens Elijah. And he ran for his life because he was afraid, the Bible tells us. How can a man so strong as Elijah, who stood his ground in front of all these prophets and the people who were watching, suddenly be afraid of one woman? He was exhausted, physically, mentally, spiritually exhausted. He needed renewal. He ran into the desert and he wanted to crawl under a broom tree and die. But God sustained him during that time, provided food for him, strengthened in a quiet, solitary place. The Spirit of God came upon him and ministered to him. When have you felt exhausted or drained physically, emotionally, and spiritually? Maybe you're even going through that now as we are still in this pandemic. So many people are feeling exhausted. Plan some Sabbath this week, an hour, a day, if you can do that, to just be with God and allow God to refresh your soul.